Hi guys, in this tutorial we are going to look at how to filter data using where clause and operators. Okay, so let me do a quick select from employees table. This is the same table we've been using from the very first tutorial. So if I do a quick select all from employees, so we have 1000 records. But this is not what you're going to be doing all the time. Okay, you will hardly have a requirement that will demand that you create a report with the whole data in a table. Okay, because in a table you can have like millions or billions of records. So most of the time, a requirement that would be communicated to you will be those that you need to filter your data, you need to add some condition to your data. Okay, so doing a select select all from a table is just for you to get to know your table, to explore your table before you start writing your query. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at how to filter data, or how to add how to add condition to data. Okay, and what exactly do I mean by this? For you to filter your data, say I don't want to return all the records. What I can do is to use what is called relational operators. So if I want to add a condition to the data I want to retrieve from a table, I can make use of relational operators. Relational operators are what you're already familiar with. Say uh, equals, I can say not equals. This means not equals. Uh, Another way to use that is to do this. This also means not equals. Okay. I can also use something like greater than. If you remember your high school, elementary school, primary school arithmetic or mathematics, you are already familiar with all these relational operators. So this is greater than, and can use less than as well. Can also use greater than or equals to, and we can do less than or equals to. These are different operators we can use. Maybe it might be more than this, but this is these are the ones we're going to be focusing on. So if I want uh, to return, maybe just we have different departments. We look at different the department column. You see that we have a different departments. So let's say I only want to retrieve data of those employees that work in clothing department. Okay, so let me get rid of this so I can make some space. Okay, so if I want to see retrieve all the data of those employees that work in clothing department, I can do something like this. I can say select star from employees. Now here comes a keyword that I've not introduced to you, and I'm going to be doing that in this tutorial. So if I say select all from employees, I want to add a condition. I need to use this keyword where. So I can say where clothing, where department equals clothing, because this is what I want to use to filter my data. I don't want to return all the data in this table. I don't want to return all the 1000 employees in this table. I only want those who work in clothing department. So I can come here and say where departments equals clothing. Now I'm going to do something quickly. So where department equals clothing. Okay. Now let me first run this. Select star from employees. This returns 1000 records. But I only want to see those employees working in clothing department. So we use this keyword where department, which is the name of the column, equals clothing. Okay, let's run this and see what we have. Boom, we have 49 rows. And how do you validate this if this query is correct? You have specified that you only want to see data for those departments, for those employees working in clothing department. So you come to your department column, and all I want to see here is clothing, because I already added a filter, a condition that I only want to see those employees working in clothing department. So when you look through the department column, department field, all you're going to see is clothing. All we have is clothing. And we have 49 records for clothing. So you can specify whatever you want actually. Let's say you only want to see all the female employees. That's still possible. So all I need to do is to change this to where gender. What do we have for gender? We have F for female and M for male. So I can change this to M. And let's see what you have. See, we have 499 rows. That is, in this employees table of 1000 employees, 499 of them are males. See, we have all M, all males. So if I want to see only the female, I can do the same thing. Just change this to female and run. See, we have all females, 501 rows. So we have 501 female employees. So this is how to filter your record. We're going to be looking at each of these one tutorial at a time. One thing that is very important for you to note here is, let me change this back to departments. Where department equals, um, let's say sports. So I want to see only those employees working in sport department, because sport A is uppercase S. If I change this to lowercase and run, let's see what happens. It returns no record. And why is that? Whenever you are filtering, whenever you are adding a condition to your query, make sure that the condition you are adding, the data you are adding, is spelled correctly, the same way it is spelled. If it's lowercase, you have to use lowercase. If it's uppercase, you have to use uppercase. Okay, so with that, if you don't do it that way, it's not going to return any record, because sports that we have here is in uppercase. So if you don't do it the way it's done, the same thing goes for clothing. If I change this to clothing, this is going to run because C is in uppercase, just the same way it's spelled. If it's upper, you make sure you stick to upper. If it's lower, because the data is case sensitive, okay? This is fine. SQL itself is not case sensitive. So I can change this to lower E. This will still run. I can change this to lower R. This is not case sensitive. The keywords are not case sensitive. The where, I can do it however I want it. It's just that this doesn't look pretty. Okay, so I like to just capitalize the keywords. But my point here is these are not case sensitive. But the data, the actual data in the table is case sensitive. So let me run this to prove that to you. This still runs, but the moment I change something in the data, maybe change this to lowercase c, the way it's spelled is uppercase. Let's see what happens. It says not returning, it can't find it because there's nowhere in this table where department is lowercase clothing. It has to be uppercase. So you need to be careful. The data itself and the table is case sensitive, but the keywords, the commands, you can use any case you want. Even though best practice, this looks better to to make this in uppercase. This looks better. Okay, so you can use this equal sign for whatever you want to do. Maybe you only want to see the record of Sydney. So I can say where first name. Is it do where first name call Sydney? This guy, we only want to see this guy. Okay, so let me run this. We only have him. Okay, so you can use whatever you want. Let's go back to select all. I can say where first name equals Barry, where department equals tools, where email equals this, where gender equals F or hem, where salary equals this, okay, where region ID equals 4. So I can change this to where region ID equals 4. Now, you notice I'm not putting this in any quotes. Whenever you're referring to a number, you don't need to put that in quote. It's still going to run. It's not a string. So you see, when you go to the region ID column to validate your output, all you see is 4 because you specify that where region ID equals 4. Okay, so all we have is 4. So the takeaway from this class is in order to filter your record, in order to filter your data, you need this keyword where combined with one or two of these relational operators. So we've been looking at how to use this equal sign, and we can use this with any of the column we want to use to filter. We can as well combine this. In the previous tutorial, we saw how to use a limit, right? So how to use limit and distinct. So I can also still combine limit with this. It's possible. So if I run this, select star from employees where region ID equals 4, and I run, so we have 137 rows affected. So it means 137 out of the 1,000 employees are working in region 4, right? Okay, what if I want to limit this record and say, okay, limit, I just want to see 10 of them. So 10 records affected. So we only have 10, 1 to 10. So you can actually combine all these syntax together. This is just to show you that you can combine, and we're going to be going more advanced into some intermediate concept where we'll be combining all these together. Okay, so the takeaway here is to filter your record, you need this keyword where combined with any of these operators. In subsequent tutorials, we're going to continue on all of this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.